Good day, everyone. Irish Montalia here, and I will be presenting the next 10 questions for our review, but now of the course, the teaching and assessment of macro skills. So I hope that you guys are ready. Let's now begin. Okay, so for the first question, which of the following best distinguishes hearing from listening? Letter A, hearing is active, listening is passive. Letter B, hearing is the process of perceiving sound, listening is attaching meaning to sound. Letter C, hearing requires focused attention, listening does not. Or letter D, hearing is learned, listening is an inborn trait. I'll give you 10 seconds to choose your answer. It's letter B. Hearing is the process of perceiving sound, while listening is attaching meaning to sound. Now, let us know why letter B is the correct answer and why the other three distractors are incorrect. So, first one, letter A, hearing is active, listening is passive. This is incorrect because hearing is actually the passive process. When we say passive, this means effortless. And in hearing, you do not exert much effort. Unlike for listening, which is an active process because you now attach meaning to the sound. Next one is letter C. Hearing requires focused attention, listening does not. This is also incorrect because listening actually requires attention rather than hearing, since again, that is a passive process. And the last one is letter D. Hearing is learned, listening is an inborn trait. This is also incorrect because hearing is actually the inborn trait while listening is learned. As you grow, as you age, you learn how to listen. So again, the correct answer is letter B. For our next question, which of the following is an example of semantic noise as a barrier to listening? Letter A, loud construction outside the classroom. Letter B, hunger distracting a student. Letter C, misunderstanding a word due to different interpretations. Or letter D, a student's negative opinion about the speaker. 10 seconds for you to choose your answer. And the correct answer is letter C, misunderstanding a word due to different interpretations. Let us know why. Letter A, loud construction outside the classroom, is actually a physical noise rather than a semantic noise. When we say physical noise, these are external disturbances that impedes the communication. So in this case, since it's there is a loud construction outside the classroom, the student can be distracted in terms of listening to the teacher, for instance. Next one, letter B, hunger distracting a student. Now, rather than a semantic noise, this is actually a physiological noise. When we talk about physiological noise, this has something to do with the physical state of a listener, like hunger or pain. And in this case, it's hunger since the student is feeling hungry. Therefore, instead of listening, he might think of food. Therefore, it's a distraction. Okay? And letter D, a student's negative opinion about the speaker. Now, instead of being a semantic noise, this is actually a receiver's bias. When we say receiver's bias, since the student is actually feeling negative or doesn't like the speaker, he might opt not to listen to the speaker anymore. So the correct answer is letter C, since it has something to do with semantic or the meaning. Okay? And because it's about meaning, in here there are different interpretations. And as we know, individuals have different interpretations for every word. So therefore the correct answer is letter C. Let us now have question number 3. In the stages of listening, what does the understanding stage primarily involve? Letter A, assigning meaning to words and utterances. Letter B, repeating what the speaker says. Letter C, providing feedback to the speaker. Or letter D, isolating sounds from noise. Another 10 seconds for you to choose your answer. The correct answer is letter A, assigning meaning to words and utterances. Okay, this is because if you know or if you can actually assign meaning to words and utterances, therefore, it means that you are able to understand or comprehend the information. Okay, now let us look at why the other three choices are incorrect. Letter B, repeating what the speaker says, falls in the remembering stage. And in remembering stage, if you are able to repeat what the speaker have already said or stated, then it means that you have retained the information. Next one is letter C, providing feedback to the speaker. If you can provide feedback to the speaker, then you are actually on the responding stage. And letter D, isolating sounds from noise. This falls in the receiving stage wherein you isolate sounds from physical noise. Therefore, the correct answer is letter A, since it's about understanding or comprehension. Now, for question number 4, Juliana says to Dale, "Can you pass me that book?" Dale then hands the book over. What type of speech act is this? Letter A, locutionary act. Letter B, illocutionary act. Letter C, perlocutionary act. Or letter D, declarative act. 10 seconds for you to choose your answer. The correct answer is letter C, Perlocutionary Act. Perlocutionary Act focuses on the response of the receiver to what the speaker have said. So in this case, since Juliana is actually requesting for Dale to pass her the book, Dale in response hands over the book to her. Therefore, it's Perlocutionary Act. Now, for the other choices, we have letter A, locutionary act. This is not locutionary act because locutionary act focuses on the actual words that were uttered by the speaker. So in this case, for it to be a locutionary act, the highlight should be the can you pass me that book? That's it. For letter B, illocutionary act focuses on the intention of the speaker with what he or she have uttered or said. So in this case, for it to be an illocutionary act, it should be highlighted that the intention of the speaker Juliana is to request for the receiver Dale to pass her the book. Okay? And for letter D, declarative act, this is not the correct answer. Obviously, because from the word itself, declarative, it should intend to create a declaration. And in this case, there is no declaration but rather a request, okay, for Dale to pass the book to Juliana. Okay, so there is no declaration at all. Therefore, the correct answer is letter C, since again, perlocutionary act focuses on the response of the receiver to the speaker. Question number 5. Christine uses an outline and glances at her notes while speaking, but does not read it word for word. What type of speech delivery is this? Letter A, manuscript reading. Letter B, memorized speech. Letter C, impromptu speech. Or letter D, extemporaneous speech. 10 seconds for you to choose your answer. The correct answer is letter D, extemporaneous speech. But let us first look at why the other three choices are incorrect. Okay, starting from manuscript reading. So, manuscript reading is the type of speech delivery wherein you just read directly from your script, as in, like word for word. That's it. Just read from your script, manuscript reading. Next one is letter B, memorized speech. From the word itself, memorize. You commit your speech or your script to your memory and you deliver your speech based from what you can remember, from what you have memorized. That's memorized speech. Next one is letter C, impromptu speech. Impromptu speech is the type of speech delivery wherein you are given no time to prepare prior to delivering your speech. For instance, you are given a topic and without preparation, you deliver a speech about your topic. That's impromptu speech. Now, the correct answer is letter D, extemporaneous speech. Extemporaneous speech is the type of speech delivery wherein you are given like at least 5 minutes to write down your ideas, outline them on a piece of paper, and once you are delivering your speech, you can glance at your notes or your guide in order for you to highlight or to remember what you need to highlight in your speech. So in the case or in Christine's case, she has her outline and she glances at her notes while speaking. Therefore, the correct answer is letter D, extemporaneous speech. We are now on our sixth question. L listens carefully, responds appropriately, and takes turns in conversation with her classmates. Which speaking skill is this? Letter A, pronunciation. Letter B, interaction. Letter C, fluency. Or letter D, accuracy. 10 seconds for you to choose your answer. The correct answer is letter B, interaction. So, interaction refers to actively engaging in conversations through listening, responding, and even turn taking. On the other hand, pronunciation refers to how clearly you utter or speak the words. Next one is fluency. It's about how articulately and easily you use the language or express yourself in conversation. And accuracy is all about using your grammar and vocabulary correctly. So therefore, the correct answer is letter B. Question number 7. Which of the following best distinguishes scheming from scanning when reading a text? Letter A. Scheming aims to get the main idea. Scanning aims to search for specific information. Letter B, scheming is for memorizing. Scanning is for enjoyment. Letter C, scheming involves reading every word. Scanning skips large sections. Or letter D, scheming and scanning are both reading strategies. 10 seconds for you to choose your answer. The correct answer is letter A. Scheming aims to get the main idea, while scanning aims to search for specific information. Now, let us know why letters B, C, and D are incorrect answers. Letter B, scheming is for memorizing, scanning is for enjoyment. Scheming is not merely for memorizing. You do not skim through a text in order for you to memorize the content, but rather for you to get or to grasp the general idea of what you are reading. Scanning is not for enjoyment. You do not scan the text or the material for you to enjoy, but rather for you to find the specific information that you need. Okay? Letter C. Skimming involves reading every word. Scanning skips large sections. Skimming does not require you to read every single word, but rather you can just focus on the topic sentences rather or headlines in order for you to grasp the general idea of the text. Scanning does not skip large sections, but rather you read through sections very quickly and focus on the specific information that you are actually looking for. Okay? And letter D, scheming and scanning are both reading strategies. While this is indeed true, it does not fit our question since we want to distinguish scheming from scanning. And in this statement, we just what? We just state or stated that scheming and scanning are both reading strategies rather than distinguishing them from one another. Therefore, the correct answer is letter A. For our question number 8, for starting a new unit, Teacher Ken gives his students a test to find out what they already know about the topic. What type of assessment is this? Letter A, diagnostic assessment. Letter B, formative assessment. Letter C, summative assessment. Or letter D, benchmark assessment. 10 seconds for you to choose your answer. The correct answer is letter A, diagnostic assessment. Diagnostic assessment is the type of assessment that you use before instruction, or basically when you want to gauge the prior knowledge of your students before introducing a new topic to them. In this case, teacher can gives a test first to his students before introducing a new topic in order for him to know what the level of their prior knowledge is. Okay, so it's diagnostic assessment. Next one is letter B, formative assessment. Formative assessment is an assessment that happens during instruction. So this could be in the form of quizzes or exit tickets. Exit tickets are very common. For instance, during or before finally ending a discussion, you ask your students what they have retained from your discussion. That's one exit ticket. Okay. And on the other hand, we have summative assessment. This is the type of assessment that happens after instruction. So this could be in the form of projects wherein you ask your students to create projects in order for them to show the understanding of a certain unit that you have discussed. And letter D is benchmark assessment. This evaluates the grade level standards or learning goals of your students. So basically, this could happen within an entire year, or you gauge what your students have learned during the entire year. This could be in the form of standardized tests. So the correct answer is letter A, diagnostic test. You evaluate the prior knowledge or you gauge the prior knowledge of your students before introducing a new topic to them. Last two questions for the review of this course. Let us proceed with question number 9. After writing his essay, Carlo checks for grammar and spelling mistakes and corrects them. Which step of the writing process is this? Letter A, pre-writing. Letter B, drafting. Letter C, revising. Or letter D, editing. 10 seconds for you to choose your answer. The correct answer is letter D, editing. Okay, and let us look at why letters A, B, and C are incorrect answers. Okay, so pre-writing is basically before writing. This includes brainstorming and planning, wherein you brainstorm ideas first and plan how you will write them in your essay, basically. Okay, on the other hand, we have drafting. Drafting happens when you write the first version of your essay. As simple as that, drafting. Okay? And we have revising, wherein you improve the content and organization of your essay. Now, revising and editing are often used interchangeably by most individuals. They often mistake editing as revising and vice versa. But let us discuss their difference in order to clear things out. Okay? When we are talking about revising, we are focusing on improving the content and organization of our essays. But if we are talking about editing, we are looking for correcting mistakes such as grammar, punctuations, and spelling. Okay, so the correct answer is editing because in this case or in our question, Carlo checks for grammar and spelling mistakes and corrects them. Okay, finally, we are down to our last question for the review of this course. Question number 10. Ryan's essay is creative and well developed, but the ideas are not arranged logically. Which criterion needs improvement? Letter A, convention. Letter B, presentation. Letter C, organization. Or letter D, sentence fluency. 10 seconds for you to choose your answer. The correct answer is letter C, organization. And let us know why letters A, B, and D are actually incorrect answers before finally knowing why C is the correct one. Okay, so let's begin with convention. Convention deals with the mechanics of your writing, including grammar, spelling, punctuation, and even capitalization. So everything that is all about the structure of how you write is included in convention. Next one is presentation. This is basically all about your writing style or the strategy that you use when you are writing your essay or your text. And letter D, sentence fluency, is basically how the thought of your one sentence flows smoothly to another sentence. Okay? And of course, the correct answer is letter C, organization, since this refers to how you structure or arrange your ideas logically in your writing. So it doesn't matter if your essay is actually creative or well developed, if it is not presented or arranged in a clear way that is even more easily for the readers to comprehend, then your organization should be improved. Therefore, the correct answer is organization. And that basically sums up our review for the course of the teaching and assessment of macro skills. I hope that you were able to refresh your minds with our questions and get most of the answers correct, if not all. Thank you, everyone.